Hello and welcome to LIFEcast with Randy and Grace. We want to help you live life in full expression, LIFE. And so we're here to just talk about things that maybe make you happy, make you laugh, make you question. And today, what's our topic, sweetheart?
Hobbies. When you
Hobbies.
retire, how do you select a hobby? Are you ever too old to enjoy a hobby? A lot of people struggle with that. So we're going to talk about hobbies.
Hobbies. I don't have any.
Well, you're never bored.
I don't have hobbies.
You're
I
never
don't
bored.
have any hobbies.
Well, I disagree. Let's talk about the definition of a hobby then. A hobby is whatever you do to fill up your time that gives you a purpose or you enjoy. That's a hobby. It doesn't have to be something traditionally like a hobby, like building models or knitting. It doesn't have to be that kind of hobby. Volunteering can be a hobby. But let's go back to the start. So, as an example, for me, I can only use my own examples, of course. I tried to retire.
Do you know you?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I tried to retire twice. Strenuously, I tried, and I was terrible at it. I tried to develop hobbies. The only thing I really wanted to do back then, I liked to play golf, but I couldn't play golf 3 days a week. So I got bored, and boredom is the enemy of retirement. So we'll talk today about what to do about that. But so I went back to work, and I did it twice. But today, 10 years later, maybe, I finally settled into retirement. I'm not bored that often. I have things to do, things we enjoy doing together.
Whoa.
Really?
You're not bored that often?
No.
I can't wait to hear the rest of this story.
Well, maybe a little at times. That's only because you don't entertain me enough, but we'll get to that later. So the thing is, what did I do? Well, I started developing things I didn't even, know I really wanted to do and like to do. But let's back up a minute. We'll get to that. So when you retire and you want a hobby, you can find things. I think hobbies are very good, not just to fill the time. They can keep you mentally sharp. They can keep you physically active. They keep you socially connected. So it's a lot of things to go in. Like the hobby is a broad subject. And again, I think boredom is the enemy. But when you retire, you have time then to do things maybe you didn't have time to do before. And if you can fill that up, it's a good thing. If you can't, maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe you go back to work if you can, and eventually you'll get there.
I think work is a good hobby.
Yeah. But how do you select a hobby? I think, and it took me a long time. You start thinking about, what do you enjoy doing? Do you like simple indoor versus outdoor? Do you like social activities or like to do things more on your own? So just think about what you enjoy doing and be able, this is a real key too. I didn't think I was going to talk this much.
I didn't think you were going to talk this much either, but okay.
But be willing to experiment and try things. We've talked to many friends, one this morning, who said she never thought she would enjoy, what was it she said she never thought she would enjoy?
She never thought she would enjoy, that she did that home decluttering job.
Oh, the organization thing.
And I don't know that she thought she would enjoy knitting. I don't know.
Right. But anyway, she tried it and she loved both of them and spent a lot of her time doing that. So be willing to experiment on things that you may. Let's take something as simple as golf. Maybe you never played golf. I've talked to people who've never played golf. It can be so frustrating, but they'll go out and try it, and all of a sudden they'll get the bug, and then that's all they want to do. But they didn't know that unless they tried it. So think about what you enjoy. Talk to people. What do they do? And then be willing to put your foot in the water and try. If it doesn't work out, you just stop. It's no big deal, no big loss. But I think experimentation is a good thing. It's not the easiest thing to do, to find hobbies. But you have anything to add to this? I'm doing all the talking.
Well, okay. So let's go back to your.
Let's don't.
To your definition of a hobby, because
Okay.
we have different. To me, I have no hobbies. There are no hobbies, and that's mostly because when I think of a hobby, When I think of a hobby is something you do mindlessly to avoid the rest of the day. So I don't have hobbies. I only do things that I think are adding something to my life or to someone else's. So yeah, I'm not a hobbyist. You're not going to find me putting a boat in a bottle. You're not going to find me,
You're making this way too narrow because
Well, we're talking opinions here. You have yours. This is mine.
yeah, I value mine more than I do yours.
I know. It's very true. I mean, like you say, and everybody says, well, you never know if you're going to like it until you try it. And I think that's true. I think that's true. But there is really nothing that I want to try right now. I don't have a need to fill up any more of my time. My time is very filled. And when it's not filled, I'm perfectly happy to sit down in front of a TV and watch something, not necessarily real TV, but like podcasts and stuff that I'm interested in. I like learning. Okay, there's a hobby.
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
So you like, let's talk about what you like. You like learning. You like going on the History Channel. You like your Bible study, which also can be learning. You like to do crosswords. You love crosswords.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yes.
You like to learn a new language. This is things we do. You like dance lessons. All of these things are hobbies, and yet she says she has no hobby. So the hobby is much broader.
I don't look at my Bible study as a hobby.
You said a minute ago work could be a hobby.
I look at when I'm learning something, I don't see that as we talk about definitions. I just told you what my definition was.
Well, then let's change.
It's a mindless thing.
Let's change the subject of what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about hobby. We're going to talk about what do you do with your time that you enjoy so you don't get bored. That's what we're talking. We don't have to call it a hobby.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
So let's get on the same way path here to start with.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 15. So I recommend having fun because there is nothing better for people in this world than to eat, drink, and enjoy life. How's that for a Bible scripture about this?
Eating and drinking can be a great hobby. I like both of those. I love both of those.
Okay. How do you enjoy? What can you do to spend your time after you have, quote, retired and then find that you might be getting bored?
There you go.
Okay. And you said something very important. You said,
Ooh.
How will you know if you don't like it until you try it? But right. I can remember many things that I've told you to try that you absolutely refuse to try.
Well, some things you're not going to like, but other things you should try.
You just said you don't know.
Well, that's true. Caught me again. Well, okay.
If you're going to be picky about things that you haven't tried and simply say, I don't like that, then go ahead and be bored.
I will agree. That's true.
Go ahead and be bored. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
And I was. I did and I was. Guilty.
You did and you do. You did and you do.
Let's move on. If you're in the situation with boredom, I think two great things. Everybody is good at something. Everybody. So maybe you can volunteer to help other people or to tutor people, to do some things like that. Everybody volunteer to help people in many, many areas.
And you know what's really good about volunteering is when you're taking care of someone else, you don't have to focus on yourself.
True. But volunteering, tutoring, mentoring, I've mentored students quite a bit. All of these things can be fulfilling and fill up your time. And it makes you feel good that you're helping somebody else too, kind of like yourself.
Absolutely. Psalm 126, verse 2 says, our mouths were filled with laughter and our tongues with songs of joy. You should sing.
Oh, no. I can sing to myself. I'm not singing out loud. I've tried it, and they laughed at me.
That's a hobby. I walk around the house singing sometimes.
You have... Okay.
What? I don't sing?
You shouldn't use the word hobby. You should, because you just nixed it.
Yeah.
So don't use the word hobby.
No hobbies.
So let's talk about what we did, and what, by the way, I instigated a lot of this because she was never bored, but she was good enough to do some of this stuff for me, and I came up with this things that might be fun. Like I mentioned before, on the weekends we like to do crosswords in the morning. We really enjoy that. She likes it because she thinks that she can show me how smart she is. I already know she's smart.
That's not
She
true.
doesn't have to convince me of anything, but she loves it. And I can see the smile on her face when she gets some of these. I know.
Because our brains work so differently.
That's true.
I think
Boy, is that true.
I think just from watching this, you can tell that. But our brains work very differently. Randy is very, very detailed in the question and what the exact answer is. Whereas sometimes I like the long phrases that they ask you for on crossword puzzles. And if I just see a few of the letters across, I'll come up with what it's supposed to say.
So let me tell you
we work
the way this works. I'm sitting there doing all the tiny little clues to give her a few letters. And then the long answers, which are the most fun, she goes, and I haven't even thought about it yet. But she couldn't have done it without me doing all the little detail things to put a few letters in the 16-word answer, and she'll go ahead and solve it. That's very irritating.
Thank you.
And I told you that before.
You're doing such a good job. Does such a good job on all the details in the crosswords, in our house. He's a good detail person.
Don't patronize me.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. This is truthful.
It is truthful, but I don't like your tone. So the other thing we like to do is, rather than just sit there and mindfully watch TV, we love to work jigsaw puzzles while we watch TV.
Yes, we do that while we watch TV.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Not just sit there, because that's a lot of fun. We were planning on, because we love Italy, going to Italy, so we started regularly learning Italian. And that was a lot of fun. We'd take 2 hours, maybe 3, 1 hour a day, 3 days a week, and learn Italian. And we actually got to the point when we went to Italy, we spoke Italian, and for the most part. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The Italians are so nice. They know what you're trying to say. They help you. They don't say that. You don't say that word like that, you idiot. They don't do that. So it was fun.
I have to say one little thing, though. We're talking a lot about because we do a lot of things together. And there is also the time when a person is either on their own for their choice or not their choice. And it is so important to try new things. You know, for me, whether it's learning Italian or taking, a course online from Hillsdale College or Prager University, I enjoy that for me. It's not something that necessarily has to be shared with anyone else. And to your point, and volunteering, I think volunteering is very, very important because it really takes your mind off whatever it is you're going through or what you have or what you don't have, so that you can help others. I don't do a lot of volunteering right now, though, I have to admit.
Well, but you help people in so many ways with your fitness business and Bible study and everything else. But
yeah, I haven't heard from any of you. Why aren't you signing up for my fitness business?
So, talk about experimenting, and I'm telling you all the things that we like to do. I also like to play golf a lot, but I can't play golf more than 2 to 3 times a week because my body gets mad at me if I do that. So that's limited, but I enjoy that. I always wanted to play the piano, and I tried to do self-taught piano lessons on the computer, and boy, I was that guy old. After about 2 months, I couldn't even play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So I gave that up. That was just too frustrating. But I tried it.
Don't let that be a negative, because I tried it too. It didn't work for me either. I actually went to an instructor and also took piano lessons when we lived in Charlotte. And that didn't work for me either.
But we tried.
But don't let that be a negative.
But
try.
Had that worked, I would have enjoyed the heck out of that.
Yeah.
Because she likes to sing. I could have played the piano. It would have been wonderful. But didn't work. I flunked that one.
I also just wish I could read music so that I could sing things that I hadn't heard before. But, I guess I am.
You don't need to read music to sing things if you just hear the song.
if you hear the song. I'm
Right.
saying I would like to be able to see sheet music and hear the song in my head without having heard it before.
Oh my God.
But I'm not, I'm not driven. I'm not dedicated enough to do that learning. And there are some things like that.
So another thing we did, actually while we were still working, but we enjoy it now, is she convinced me to take ballroom dance lessons. I know this is going to thrill a lot of the men out there, but
Wait a minute. I didn't convince you. That was your idea as a gift to me because I liked to dance so much. I didn't have to convince you. You surprised me.
oh, I forgot about that. So that was good on my part.
Yes, it was.
Check one for Randy. So we took dance lessons. I won't go into what that was all about. A little traumatic at first, but we did it, and we got to the point where we wouldn't embarrass ourselves, and now we love to dance. If we go on to weddings or go on a cruise, and we love to dance, so we really enjoy dancing. That's another thing we can do. I mentioned before we both love history, so we'll sit down and watch the History Channel or documentaries or things like that because we both still enjoy learning. Exercise. We both exercise every day. I exercise every day for at least an hour. And, there's all kinds of health benefits to that, as well as it takes some time.
You are actually much better at doing that on your own. For me, like this morning, I've already taught 2 classes. And I need, honestly, really, I do need to have other people who are in this with me so that I'm accountable. Right now at this time in my life, I mean, there was a time this wasn't true, but right now at this time in my life, I would not be as dedicated as you are to just have free time. I'm going into the fitness room or I'm going to the treadmill. You're good at that.
Well, and the reason is it was from years and years and years, my cholesterol was over 210, 215. And I started doing this in 2012, and the other day I had my physical, and I don't need a good healthy diet all the time. My cholesterol was 178, and my blood pressure's down. So it's amazing. I don't do it to lose weight. I do it because of the health benefits, and I've really seen that firsthand.
And like you said before, I mean, sometimes we talk about comfort food. Well, there are comfort adventures like going out to eat and drink, but Ecclesiastes 9:7 says, "Go eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with joy."
And weigh 300 pounds.
God has already approved. God has already approved what you do.
Everything balance, everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
So I even tried cooking. I felt that would be fun. So I was reading these recipes and thought I'd go in and cook. Grace cooks. She doesn't like to cook a lot, but what she cooks is excellent. But I thought I'd be more adventurous and surprise her. And I don't know why. For whatever reason, that didn't work out. I don't know what it was. So it wasn't as interested as I thought I'd be. So anyway, we live near the coast. A lot of my friends enjoy fishing. I tried that. I am the world's worst fisherman. Fishing to me, fishing to me is sitting in a chair, taking a nap with a stick in my hand. That's what fishing is to me. I never catch anything.
I don't know if we're being very helpful here. I mean,
I'm trying.
Everything you say you tried, you didn't like, and you stopped doing it anyway. And I'm saying I don't have any.
That's not. I try. I love learning the new language.
Yeah,
there's
we're
things
still kind of dabbling in that.
Yeah.
We'd like to do that.
So, well, a friend of mine just retired said he's never bored. He's on a schedule. I said, really? Which I'll talk about a schedule. And I said, what is your schedule? He says, well, I wake up, I have coffee, I complain, then I eat, then I take a nap, then I complain again, then I eat, and then I go to bed. Repeat that every day. That's not what we're talking about here. Although complaining can be fun, it's not that good a thing to do. So, but.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
The doctor told me that I needed to find a hobby at one point. So I started collecting prescriptions. And that wasn't a lot of fun. So.
Anyway. Okay. What's the takeaway? Try new things.
Well, wait a minute. I have one more thing. scheduling and planning. If you've watched these before, you know I'm big on planning. We actually came up with a schedule for what we would do during the week. And so we had things on there every day of the week at the hour. And I didn't want to be too structured, but you know, we had there, she had her exercise classes. We had our Italian class. I told you we were talking that. We would do, I would do my exercise, Bible study, learning things on the History Channel, crosswords, cook a special dinner we had on Friday night. So and golf on a couple of days a week. So we actually came up with a schedule, and you don't have to follow the schedule, but it helps to have something. If you're bored, say, well, what do we have on the schedule for today? It might give you the impetus to go do that and get back into it, because I like making lists. If she puts it on my list, it gets done. If it's not on the list,
He loves checking off.
yeah, if it's not on the list, I hardly ever get started. So, but anyway, that might be a tool you could use to do a schedule. So
I think
you were saying,
was I? I think the biggest thing is that put yourself out there. Try something new. You know, even if you think you won't like it, at least give it a shot. And I think volunteering is a very good thing. I really do. I think volunteering is a very good thing. It takes you outside of yourself.
and everybody's good at something.
Right. I mean, you know, when I worked for DuPont, we were so upset because at that time, and this is the late 70s, early 80s, and we had a fiber that we were promoting, Orlon, and it was used in the knitting industry. It was like a very big fiber in the knitting industry. And when knitting starting to decline, our sales really went down. But I think it's nice that people are picking that up again. I think knitting is coming back. They have knitting groups. So it's not like you have to do it just on your own. You can join a knitting group. So there are lots of, now that would not appeal to me. I actually tried that when I was a teenager, and it's
Me.
it's very, for me, it's very tedious, and heaven forbid you should drop a stitch. So no, that's not.
Oh, detail.
Because it's a detail, and I don't
you're
like
detail things too. Certain things.
It was a detail that I didn't like, and I didn't like missing it.
You didn't like keeping up with the detail. Gotcha.
No. So anyway, but there are so many things out there, different groups that you can join, even foodie groups, you know, wine tasting groups or wine clubs or dinner, things in your neighborhood or.
No, I like bourbon tasting groups. Bourbon tasting dinners. Oh, that's another thing you can do. Have community neighborhood dinners and things. They're a lot of fun. Right. There's so many things, and everybody likes to eat. Not everybody drinks, but everybody likes to eat. So there's all kinds of things. Just be creative. Try to think about what you like doing. Volunteer. Talk to other people what they do, and just let it develop. It's not easy. Don't be in a hurry. Don't get frustrated because in the first month or two you haven't figured it all out. It took me 8 years because I went back to work. But so be patient.
Be patient. We have a question. Oh my goodness. Sharon from Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She says, I am 67 and recently retired. I thought I would love all the free time. I hate free time. But honestly, I feel a little lost. How do I find a hobby when I don't even know what I enjoy anymore? So, I mean, I think this is every person's question. Retirement can be a very tough thing because you feel, you know, I'm not needed to do anything anymore. And now I'm like a marble rolling around in an empty house. So again, I would simply say, try things. Ask your friends what they do with their time. Maybe something will spark an interest. Is there an organization, a community in your group, whether it's your church or another type of community where you could volunteer? I did some volunteering at a women's shelter, and I brought my skill. So my skill was teaching exercise, and I went to the local women's shelter.
Domestic violence, wasn't it?
Yes, and I offered my classes there, and they jumped at the chance. So if there is something that you were doing in your work life that you can now use as a skill to volunteer with, that can be a really good thing. So what do you say, Randy?
I say try different things, talk to people, try to be experimental, be willing to try something. If you don't like it, drop it. But just be willing to try and think about not only things you enjoy, think about things you had a career or you worked, think about things you're good at, and then try to volunteer, mentor people on that to get started. And over time, these things, you'll start to figure it out.
And the other thing, if you do inquire of your friends what they like to do or did like to do or are doing, and your answer is, oh, I wouldn't like that. Oh, I wouldn't like that. Oh, no, that's not for me. Oh, I wouldn't like that. I would never do that. If you hear yourself saying those things, check yourself. Just check yourself, because you maybe are not opening a door that would have great enjoyment for you. So I would just check how you answer questions like that. And that goes for you too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear.
Okay. Don't listen to him. Okay. Try everything. Okay. Anyway, that's as much as we can offer you on what to do. Hobbies can be fun, something you enjoy, something you didn't know you would enjoy, and then invite someone to join you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you again soon, I hope.